Blackstone Audiobooks presents The Party, A Guide to Adventurous Entertaining by Sally Quinn. This book is read by Anna Fields. To my parents, Betty and Bill Quinn, who taught me that successful entertaining is really about generosity of spirit. Introduction. A while ago, a producer on Good Morning America called me in Washington and asked me if I would come up to New York and be on the show. It was right before Christmas and they were doing a week of holiday entertaining segments. At first I refused. After all, I was a serious journalist and this was a totally frivolous subject. It would ruin my reputation. Jackie Leo was persuasive, however, and also there was a party I wanted to go to in New York the night before, so I finally said yes. When I arrived at the studio the morning of the show, Jackie told me that I would be introduced as a society hostess. I nearly fainted. I implored her not to have me introduced as a hostess. Being called a Washington hostess was bad enough, though at least that had a political connotation. But society hostess? How had I managed to get myself into this anyway? Was it too late to get out of it? Before I knew it, I was whisked into makeup, taken down to the green room, and summoned into the studio. I was seated at a dining room table that was set with china and silver and party napkins across from my host, Charlie Gibson. It was getting worse by the minute. "We have invited," he was saying to the camera, "author, journalist, and," he looked at me quizzically it seemed, "sometime Washington hostess Sally Quinn." The dreaded word. The first time, I demurred with less than total candor and with a slightly embarrassed laugh, I've ever been described as a hostess. Charlie looked betrayed. If I wasn't a hostess, what was I doing on the holiday entertaining segment? We climbed over that hurdle and segued nicely into a discussion of party rules. I suggested that it was important to stay informed, to read the paper. I was behaving perfectly until Charlie asked me, "What happens if conversation lags? What do you do?" "Well," I responded brightly, "as I said, I think you watch the Today Show." The words weren't out of my mouth before I realized what I had just said. But Charlie was not about to let me get away with that. "Good Morning America," he corrected in mock horror. What could I do but fling my head down on the table and cover it with my hands? Afterward I was greeted by chilly smiles and wan well dones, and I escaped as quickly as possible. But I did begin to think about the word hostess, and what it means. The
Sample complete. Ready to continue?